Good evening, everyone. This is Divyanshu Sinha from Atal Incubation Center, BHU, and today is National Consumers Day. So we have organized a webinar on why customer don't buy from you. Today we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Osho Siddhant, who is a computer graduate student from IIT BHU Varanasi, batch of 2016. Bombay Local is his second startup, which helps small mid-cap funded startup position services and products. Before running Bombay Local, he ran another company which was around handicrafts called Craft Emporio based out of Varanasi. So now I would request Mr. Osho Siddhant sir to kindly address this session. Over and out to you, sir.
Hello guys, can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So let me tell you what we are going to do in this the next 45-50 minutes which we have, and feel free to raise your hand or ask or drop in your questions as and when you want. Other than that, we'll keep the last 10-15 minutes for a question answer sort of a session wherein you can ask me whatever you want or whatever you feel like. And as I was introduced, I run a company called as Bombay Local. And prior to running Bombay Local, I was running a handicrafts company based out of Varanasi. Our company Craft Emporio was incubated at MCI IIT BHU, and that's where I met Paritosh. Other than that, by education, I'm a computer science grad from BHU. Did not take up a job after college, and while I was in my third year, I started my company. So that's a little bit of prelude on who I am and what I do. Other than that, I try to understand the topic which was given, like why consumers, why customers don't buy from you. So I think most of you guys are B school students, so you must be knowing much more about traditional marketing than I know. So I won't be able to tell you from a sales perspective, as in what is in textbook, but I could tell you more from my experiences. So let's make it very clear that I might have some views which might be counterintuitive or which might be very different from what your professors might be teaching you. I'll only be able to share my views on what works for me, and you have to take that with a pinch of salt. So essentially, and let's keep it in a story format. Whenever you have a question, just write in the chat or raise your hand, and then we can talk one on one. So first of all, I'll tell you what I do right now. What's my job at Bombay Local? So essentially, when I was running my last company, which was around handicrafts, there we it was a late 2014, and we were a couple of 20 years old, three of us, and we said, well, naukri kaun karega, let's do something else. And it was Banaras, and then you figure out that there's handicrafts all around you. And then sometimes you fly out of Banaras and you reach, say for example, Delhi. You look at Delhi airport, the same product at Delhi airport gets sold for maybe 20 times, 100 times than the product which was maybe sold by a seller at Asighat. And then you try to understand who gets all this money. Like if a product, say for example, like engineering students, and we used to see at a cigarette, there was this guy called as Daya. Daya was around 55-60 years old and used to have a mat and then a various handicraft product, and he used to sell pipes. So one day I went to him somewhere in my fifth semester and I asked him, "Kitne ka bechte ho?" He's like, "10 rupees, 12 rupees, 15 rupees, something like that." And someday you go to Vishwanath Gali and you see some other product, and then there it's sold at 10x. And you go out of Varanasi to any other place where that craft or the piece of art is valued, it's maybe 100x. So why there's so much why there's such a chasm between the selling price at one place and then at some place B and then at some place C? And if the one who makes it does not get part of it, then who gets it, and why do the makers don't get it? And essentially that was the problem we found in handicrafts, and that is what we set out to solve. So enough of the story. We thought, well, if we onboard products from Varanasi and all other handicraft centers of India, then maybe we would put up a website and then start selling products, and it'll be, will be good. It is late 2014. E-commerce still is hot. Now it is not hot. The ship of e-commerce has sailed. You cannot open, say for example, unless you're opening a niche e-commerce offering, it won't work. Especially when it is like a branded products, or say for example, it is like a whole vertical in the supply chain. Uh, but say for example, if you have to start a niche products as in which have high ticket size but low selling volume, and you only appeal to a couple of, or say for example, a small set of customer segment, and you identify that segment. So our problem at Craft Emporio was, it's very tough for, say for example, a 20 years old guy who does not have enough money and is not looking for external capital and try to sell products online. It's very tough. And many of you will start maybe companies tomorrow, and maybe some of you must be running companies today too. So selling, whoever says that selling is easy, it's not easy. It takes a lot of soft skills, and there are a lot of hard skills. Essentially आपको persuasion आना चाहिए, आपको पता होनी चाहिए कि आप एक प्रोडक्ट को देखते हो तो जो फीलिंग आपके अंदर उफनते हैं वो फीलिंग आप अपने कस्टमर्स के अंदर उफना रहे हो कि नहीं. पहली तो चीज़ वो हो जाती है. मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू विल हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड, अच्छा मेरा कस्टमर है कैसा, सोचता कैसा है, दिखता कैसा है, उसके फ़ोन पे ऐप्स कैसे होते हैं, उसके पास फ़ोन है भी कि नहीं, अगर फ़ोन है उसके पास तो यूट्यूब पे क्या करता है. इसेंशली बेचने के लिए आपको सबसे पहले अपना टारगेट सेट ढूंढना पड़ता है. मार्केटिंग के लोग उसको पर्सोनास बोलते हैं, लेकिन इसेंशली अगर उसको देसी भाषा में समझा जाए तो आप लक्षण ढूंढते हो. क्या कॉमनिटी है, से फॉर एग्जांपल 100 लोगों के बीच में, कॉलेज के लॉन्डो के बीच में क्या कॉमनिटी होती है, कुछ चीजें होती हैं विच आर कॉमन. नाउ इफ यू फिगर दैट आउट एंड यू अपील टू दैट इमोशन, you'll be able to sell. While running a handicrafts company where ticket size is high, you have to keep a handsome margin because you're not going to sell high volumes. It becomes very important that, say for example, this is the whole mass. Then if your customers are fringed all over the spectrum, then it is very tough to sell. Whereas if your customer set, although is niche, but is limited to a certain geographical area or certain culture, or say for example, a certain has something in common. It's like it could be any attribute. कॉलेज के लॉन्डो में उम्र एट्रीब्यूट होती है, राइट. अगर कॉलेज के लॉन्डे चाय बहुत पीते हैं टपरियों पे कॉलेज के आसपास, then if you have to place a product, you could place it there because you are essentially understanding one attribute to that customer. So that's the first thing, to understand कि अच्छा कोई कस्टमर मेरे पास खरीद नहीं रहा है मेरे से सामान, तो क्यों नहीं खरीद रहा है. सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम ये होती है कि हम ये नहीं सोचने की कोशिश करते that am I reaching out to the right customer? Now that's the first problem when you already have a product. Then the second problem is, say for example, we are trying to do any business, be it services, be it product, be it e-commerce, be it whatever, be it internet based business. किसी को दूध का दुकान खोलना है, किसी को say for example शादी कराने की कंसल्टेंसी खोलनी है, कुछ भी करना है, आपको सबसे पहले ये पता होना चाहिए कि why should this business exist in this particular area. And it is all the same for all kinds of businesses. Means how I define businesses, if for an exchange of a product or service you get paid, then that's a business transaction. So, and if I want to scale it, if it is a one-off transaction, it's not a business opportunity. If it is a transaction which can have a lifetime value, as in a customer is going to need the same service or product 10 number of times, 100 number of times in a year or over the period of his lifetime, that could be one. That one customer is going to need, say for example, in his lifetime, Insurance is such a product. One has to renew it every year. So if a student buys it at, say, for example, 25, then if he lives for 60 years, then for the next 35 years too, he has to buy. So when the insurance company closes you for the first year, then essentially they have an LTV which is much higher. Now the second is transaction volume. Say for example, what's the frequency? What's the frequency of somebody ordering? Like if you look at food delivery. So if, say for example, the population density in different parts of India varies, and in some cities it's very high, like a place like Varanasi it's very high, place like Bombay it's very high. You go to different nooks and corners of our country, the population density is low. So when we see कि यार बॉम्बे में तो डंजो चलता है, बिग बास्केट चलता है, बनारस में क्यों नहीं चलता है? The reason is not that people of Varanasi have, or the population of Varanasi has a low population density, कि 1 square kilometer में 10,000 लोग हैं या नहीं. That's not the question. The question is, although वहाँ पे भी वो सारे लोग सब्जी खरीदते हैं, हर चीज खरीदते हैं, that's again not the problem. Will that company be able to generate enough transaction volume? Now, to open a service in a particular area, when you have to decide that, you have to understand, well, are these two things sorted, or am I making a wrong decision? Before putting your mind into something, before you're putting your money into something, you have to take these two pulse, whether the customer set exists, and will I be able to generate enough traction, be it online or offline, to make it profitable or to sustain a business. Now those are the two things. Say for example, you have sorted ki, well, customer set to hai, it exists. I see many female students, female people here, female candidates here. So some of you want to start a fashion label or a beauty brand. Now you should know that who are going to be my female customers. Say for example, a fashion consultancy, beauty consultancy. कि well, मैं तेरे को बताऊंगी तू कैसे सुंदर दिख सकती है, eyebrow कैसे करे, and you pay me 500 rupees per hour. And if you scale that business to, say for example, 50 people, now you have a business model. It'll be small, it will not become a billion-dollar company. Nevertheless, it can become a very profitable, very sustainable business. So you have to know where exactly is the entry point. And if it exists, where does it exist? When you're going in, that's the first point you should spend most of your time on. Any questions so far? Guys, let's not make it, let's make it a dialogue. If you have any question, just write it here. No questions? Okay. Hi Jale, hi Parth. I identify two people here. Okay. So going forward, now say for example, you have identified the customer segment or CS, the people you want to sell. You have found a common attribute too. The first step is done. The second step, well, you have also identified that I'll be able to have certain value, or certain as in transaction value, so that I can take it forward. I can hire maybe 2 employees, 4 employees, 5 employees, and have a runway of, say for example, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, and still you're not making transactions, still you're not able to close a sale. And I am talking about companies which have an average ticket size, a smaller ticket size, right? If you have a bigger ticket size, then you'll have a larger sales cycle. If you have a smaller ticket, like if you start a fashion label and your t-shirt is priced at 500 rupees. Now 500 rupees, spending 500 rupees for a customer set, or any person, any persona in that customer set, should not be a decision for which he will think 10 days. It's more like an impulsive decision. Then your tactics should be impulsive. The way you are getting your customers should be impulsive. On the other hand, if what you're selling does not appeal impulse of somebody, or he's not like he's doing the natural scroll on any of these social media channels, and that decision has to be thought through. then maybe you have to appeal them emotionally. You do not go by impulse. Couple of things. And then like there, if you read books, or if you read blogs online, why people don't buy online, they'll tell you they don't see value, you are unable to create trust, maybe you are pricing your product too low or too high. There could be, maybe if you have to talk to every customer before closing the sale, then maybe you're not listening to your customer, or there's some inherent resistance which you are unable to figure out. And then in some sales, like if you I was buying insurance for my parents recently. And when you buy insurance for your parents, and it is say for example $1,000 a per year investment, then the salesperson has to be very good to sell you that. And if he's not able to answer the questions which you have, the salesperson is no good. And that's why you talk to so many people before deciding on a particular insurance provider. So he should not be in, say for example, if you have to sell something, uh, if somebody has to start a marriage consultancy, like हम क्या करेंगे, say for example कि हमारे पास 10 पुजारी लोग हैं जो शादियां करवाते हैं, अभी आपको शादी करवाने के लिए कोई पंडित चाहिए, because in lockdown what happened, people got married online, like on screen, on Zoom calls. So आपको शादियां करवानी है, तो अगर आपके पास 10 ऐसे लोग हैं जो लोगों की शादियां करवा रहे हैं, सॉरी सॉरी, तो आप लोगों को इकट्ठा कीजिए, यू स्टार्ट विथ वन पंडित, यू मेक अ वेबसाइट एंड यू टेक दैट ऑफरिंग एवरीवेयर। अच्छा, सत्यनारायण भगवान की पूजा भी करवाएंगे, ये भी करवाएंगे, वो भी करवाएंगे, एंड चेक द कस्टमर सेट आउट। शायद ये बनारस में बिल्कुल काम नहीं करेगा, बिकॉज बनारस में ऑफलाइन अवेलेबिलिटी है, बट यू कम टू अ प्लेस लाइक एनी मेट्रो, एनी सेकंड टियर सिटी, and Banaras of course is a second tier city, but it is more rooted, it's still near its traditions. You go to Noida, you go to Delhi, you go to maybe Pune, शायद वहां पे ये धंधा चल जाएगा। तो आइडिया में कोई तकलीफ नहीं थी, आपके प्लेसमेंट में तकलीफ थी, and there was some issues with your choice of customer set. Then the other thing is say for example creating trust or value. So any kind of business you do, you're going to, whether you sell t-shirts or you sell consultancies, one will have a ticket size of say for example 300 rupees or 500 rupees, other one will have a ticket size of 20 lakh rupees or 30 lakh rupees. Now what is common in these two things is what kind of value are you adding, or what kind of trust can you generate. So firstly, I'll give you an example from a more from a B2C sort of small ticket size gimmick. And then I'll take you to say, for example, a B2B offering wherein your ticket size is higher, right? And this could also be divided on couple of other things. जैसे आप online table खरीदते हो, तो table is something which is आपके कमरे में रहेगा, right? You'll maybe study on it, or do something else, have food on it if it is a dining table. Now there are other things जिससे आपको कुछ नहीं मिलता. Say for example आपने say for example Tinder का gold खरीद लिया. You're not going to get anything what do you say, which is tangible out of it. Nevertheless, the transaction happened.
That's true.
Okay, sorry. But the transaction happened. Why that happened? That's a different question. We can get into that. Was Tinder able to create, say, for example, curiosity or value or trust? Means I'm not the right person to answer that. Nevertheless, because if you bought it, you know why you bought it. So somewhere that related. Whereas when you look at a table online, you are like, whether it will be sturdy, क्या ये हिलेगा, क्या होगा इसमें, इस पे पानी डाल दूंगा तो क्या होगा। अब आपको इन चीजों के जवाब नहीं मिलते हैं, तो we can conclude from that well, फोटो देख के मुझे इतना ट्रस्ट क्रिएट नहीं हुआ. Maybe I buy tables online. My father is not going to buy tables online. Other than that, if we come to the softer skills, like these are positioning or messaging techniques, not exactly techniques. Say for example, attributes of sale. But if you think of how are you communicating as in verbal communication I'm talking about. Say for example, selling something like an insurance, wherein a person is necessary to make a sale, or selling a loan, or selling a bike, or selling a car, wherein you go to a store, right? Now in all these things, there's a salesperson involved. Like there's a business, there's an end consumer, and there's somebody in between who makes a sale. बनारस जैसी जगह में बहुत सारी जगहों पे आपको ये दिखेगा रियल एस्टेट एजेंट्स, मतलब वो जमीन बेचें और खरीदें, ठीक है. Now that person is a very good salesperson. If he's making money, you'll be able to see it. He might not be a good person or a bad person. I don't know whether he's a good person or a bad person. But I can very well tell you if he's rich, if he's making money, if he's closing 4 deals per month, that means he knows how to sell. And what exactly he's playing on? He's somehow communicating the right things which the customer wants to hear. Or he is essentially appealing to those people who are in the decision making. Like there's an interesting case, if you look online today, EdTech flew in the last 12 months. Abhi, data says it that there are more women clicking on ads than men. And that's true because men are mostly working and women are more on social media per se, or they are essentially interacting more or thinking more about their kids. Achha, I have a question. How much time does it take you to figure out customer segment and then to reach first one from your first idea? Also, is there any template? So there's no template, Akash. And the other thing, when I say figure out, I mean think. Everybody is smart, as long as they use their brains. If somebody tells you, मुझे पता नहीं चल रहा मुझे बेचना किसको है, तो वो या तो झूठ बोल रहा है या तो उसको मेहनत नहीं करनी. Right? The first step to finding your customer set is thinking and then going and talking to people. Like, I'll give you a personal example. मैं college मेरा खत्म हो गया था 2016 में, but I stayed one extra year in Banaras. I did not fail, I graduated, but I stayed one extra year in BHU campus because I was running that last company, Craft Emporio, and I thought maybe I'll pull it through. Then you just finished college and you don't have a job at hand and your company's startup is not doing good. Now you're out of sorts. तो हमारे convocations होने वाले थे अक्टूबर 2016, if I remember right. Yeah. So me and my friend who were running the company back then, we were just 2 people. तो वी आर थिंकिंग यार अभी कॉन्वो होने वाला है, दोस्त आएंगे बाहर से, सबके सामने खुश होकर भी रहना पड़ेगा. दैट्स द फर्स्ट वन. एंड द सेकंड थिंग इज वेल, कॉलेज को कुछ पैसे भी देने होते थे, फिर अटायर खरीदना पड़ता था, वो कुर्ता पैजामा, चप्पल एज इन कोल्हापुरी चप्पल एंड स्टफ. ये 5-10 हज़ार रुपए का खर्चा है, क्या करें. सो इट्स लाइक 11th of October and we have our convo on 16th, so people start coming on 14th because it's a long weekend, something of that sort. Now I and my friend Dheeraj, we are thinking यार क्या करें अभी. तो कुछ सोचा. अभी 3 घंटे हुए, अपन दोनों ऑफिस में बैठे थे. मैं बोलता हूँ अबे ऐसा करते हैं ना, the 1,000 people who are going to graduate this year, at least 500 of them will come. Let's sell them kurta and pajamas. We already have an e-commerce running, and how tough could it be to source these products? Now we don't have any money, that's number one. We don't have kurta pajamas, kolhapuri chappals, and we put up all these products online. Why did we put up online? Because firstly we talked to people or our seniors who graduated last year. आपने कुर्ता पजामा कहाँ से खरीदा था, कितना टाइम खराब हुआ था, क्या आप घर से लेके आए थे, क्या आप बैंगलोर से लेके आए थे. We asked these questions. तो बहुत सा, it was a mixed response. मतलब 50% लोगों ने ऐसा बोला यार ऑनलाइन क्यों खरीदेगा कोई, वो लंका पे जाके खरीद लेगा. एंड आई एम लाइक यार कॉन्वो पे आ रहे हो, दोस्तों से मिलने आ रहे हो, तुम्हें लंका क्यों जाना है, तुम्हें वहाँ पे बार्गेन क्यों करना है. If something can be made available and you only have to click a button and then it gets delivered to you once you come to the campus, is it not going to be good? And we also got late. Like if people have to make a buying decision in like 48 hours or 36 hours, then you have to be really, really fast in execution. Had we started 7 days or 8 days back, like 2 weeks back from the 16th, शायद हम ज़्यादा कुर्ते बेच पाते. लेकिन to know whether this is needed or not, or and in our case, it was a one-off transaction. So you cannot think about LTV and stuff like that. So we just had to get that answer that, well, will people transact online? Will people trust that we'll get them good kurtas or pajamas or whatever Kolhapuri chappals? Now, I did not know answer to that question. Neither did my friend Dheeraj. We talked to some friends, like 10, 15 of them. We called them like casual calls, like on the evening of 11th, on the evening of 11th, if I recall right, yeah. यार हम लोग ये बेचेंगे, will you buy it? They're like, हाँ खरीद लेंगे, वैसे भी खरीदना है. बोला okay. So the same night, what we did, two of us sat down, picked up some images of kurtas and pajamas from the internet, and then Kolhapuri chappals too, and then attached a payment gateway to it, and put it up. Sent it across all the social media channels of college, and then also sent mass mail to people that, well, aisa hai, why don't you guys buy? We started getting orders, and as of now, we did not have any kurtas. Now the other means to answer your question, how do you reach the first one? Now that's the way you reach. You go and ask people, and some of them are going to say yes, some of them are going to say horrible things, and the reason why I say that some are going to say yes, it's like means I was talking to this company which sells group health policy for small companies. Like if you go to, say for example, LIC, not LIC, LIC is a bad example. We are talking more about medical insurance. So if you look for a group health policy for a small company, then most of these insurance providers will tell you that your customer size, your company size is not big enough. So unless you're 100 people, will not give you this policy. Now, what these people started doing, they'll buy these policies from bigger insurance providers in bulk, and then make smaller financial instruments out of that, and then sell it to small startups, like companies which have maybe 7 folks or 8 folks or 10 people. Now they found an interesting insight there, that some of their employees, like some of their client companies' employees, what they came up with when asked about how big is your family, who are the people in your family, some of them said, well, I have a wife and then 2 kids. Some of them said, I'm not married and I have parents to take care of. Then some of them also said, well, I have my wife and then I have 2 dogs, or I have my wife and then I have a couple of cats, right? Now those people enter into pet policies too. So essentially that's how it happens. It's not that they knew it early on that in India people are going to buy pet insurance, that too through group health policy. Individual health, maybe in retail policies you can buy insurance for your pet, but I'm talking about a group health policy which also covers your pet. Unheard of. So there's no template, Akash, so to say, right? Have I answered your question? Okay, let's move on. So before answering, before replying to this query, I was talking about essentially a retail sale, wherein a B2C sale and a B2B sale. And before that, I was giving you that real estate example. The guy who is a broker and is rich and is trying to appeal to the right decision maker. Like अभी आप लोगों में से कितने लोगों ने हाल फिलहाल आईपीएल के वक्त पेपर फ्राई का ऐड देखा? पेपर फ्राई, द फर्नीचर कंपनी. Just raise your hand or say yes or no, because the example which I'm going to give you has context. Guys, ऐसे मत करो यार, बोरिंग हो जाता है. आप ही बोलो कुछ. सबके सब म्यूट लगा के बैठे हैं. चलो ठीक है. Okay, nevertheless, I'll run you through that example.
Yeah, sir, we know.
Okay, so if you look at that ad, then you will figure out that there's a couple talking. It's an unmarried couple, right? And they're buying furniture. It's Pepperfry, right? The furniture company is Pepperfry. I think it's Pepperfry. So when that buying decision is being made, you will see both the male and female having a conversation. Now, an online furniture company, I was talking about table like 10 minutes back or 15 minutes back. My dad is not going to make that decision. So that's why in that ad, people or the guys who made the ad or the branding team of that company or the agency which made that ad, they did not cast somebody who looked 40, right? They cast somebody who was younger. That's the first attribute to look at. First attribute, age, demography. Now the second attribute, when you buy furniture or when you buy anything which is related to interior, the male member of the family pays the money and sometimes is part of the decision making, but the women is mostly the part of decision making. Now that might be true for 80% of the cases or 90% of the cases. Then it might be wrong for the last 10% of the cases. So nevertheless, in branding or marketing or positioning, you leave that 10% aside. You say, well, I am not targeting to that 10%. If it has to come organically, it will come, but I'm not going to make a tactical decision which affects the future of the company in that way. So essentially, when you look at that ad again, I want you to look at that ad again, and there are a couple of versions of it. So not now. Huh. So you'll see that women, that lady also is the part of decision making. So essentially, the positioning of the company or the offering has to appeal both. So going back to the real estate agent, जो अपने पास लंका पे एक बंदा है जो जमीन की खरीद बिक्री करता है और एक महीने में 4 सेल्स क्लोज करता है, right? We all know lands or real estate is pretty costly in Banaras. So he makes a good amount or a good commission on every sales he executes. But first of all, means there are a couple of attributes which that guy will inherently have, the agent will inherently have. First thing he'll do is he will never, say for example, hurt or say for example, brush the ego of the guy who's going to pay the money. That's one. The earning member of the family or the say for example, head of the family. Now the second one, he'll be really nice with the women of the family, because that guy has cracked the customer set. He has literally cracked the customer set. He knows that the women is not going to be part of the decision, but she can affect that decision making in multiple ways, right? So that's the other thing which you have to think of always, because these are when you look at B2B transactions, B2B transactions are going to be very long, sometimes 6 weeks, sometimes 12 weeks. And if you look at business to government transactions, they even range from 5 to 10 years. Like look at the Rafael deal. Like they started talking 15 years back and those things got delivered here like this year. So that's how it happens. If you have to execute a sale, be it any kind of sale, you have to understand how the other guy works or the client works or the client thinks. The client could be a company, the client could be a single person, a single user, the client could be a government, the client could be a ministry. Like I had bad experiences with central ministries. Like we tried to do something in my last startup. Now back then I was naive and I used to think that, well, government does not understand us. Now, once you grow up, like I have figured out, many of you must have also figured out that no, that's how that works. I did not understand the system back then. So essentially, there are people who are doing business with government or are taking help from government because they know how to crack that system. Essentially, an organization where you are going to sell anything, maybe printer cartridges, maybe chairs, maybe tables, maybe insurance, maybe stationery, whatever. If it is an organization, you will have to understand, well, this is a particular sort of organization. This is based in this particular geography. This is the kind of humor which these guys have. And that's why I should have such kind of a person who should go and execute the sale. Now, the sales guy from your company has to have all those attributes and should understand all those attributes. Now you'll be able to make a sale. Like there's a very interesting example. Coke did a campaign in the Middle East. Now the campaign was like this. Essentially, if you leave a couple of scripts like Arabic, Aramaic, and maybe Hebrew too, yeah, couple of scripts from the Middle East, every other mostly languages are written from left to right. right? Like we write English left to right. Devanagari is written left to right. Chinese write it vertically. But most of the countries in the Middle East, Arabic speaking countries, they write right to left. Now, Coke did a campaign, great agency, Ogilvy did that campaign. And in that campaign, what was like there's this guy who is on the ground and read it left to right. There's this guy who is in a desert and he's on the ground. He finds a Coke and he feels refreshed. Now, if you look at that image, if you are a Hindi writing person or an English writing person, or if you learn that language firsthand, then you're how do we open a book? We open a book with our left hand, you know. But if you look at those who have read or read textbooks or have been instructed in, say, for example, Arabic, they don't do it the opposite way, right? Now this ad, it was a post of sorts. Now this ad, when read from, say, for example, left to right, it was a guy was, tired and then he had a Coke and then he felt refreshed. But in Arabic, they did not read it like that. They read it like the guy was refreshed and then he had a Coke and then he fell down on the ground. Now, so you essentially have to understand that culture too. If you have to say, for example, make a sale in Banaras, you have to be like a Banarsi guy. If you have to execute a sale somewhere else, then you have to be somewhere else. And these are essentially, I'm talking about local businesses more so, which have local flair in them of some sort, or any cultural flavor in them. Then there are companies, bigger companies, MNCs, which don't have a local flavor. But maybe if you talk about MNCs, when they come to India, now India itself is a flavor for them. They don't divide India into different geographies, or say, for example, different for them. A Tamil and a guy from JNK and a guy from Maharashtra are not much different. They put us in the same bracket. But when you go on the ground, things differ. Like a retail bank like SBI will understand that very nicely. But for city or for any bigger bank which does not operate out of, say, for example, Banaras, or say, for example, Lucknow, they don't care. So that's the other thing. Like whether it is B2B selling, whether it is B2G selling, anywhere where the sales cycle is high or big, you have to understand the customer. You have to understand each of those, what do you say, point of contacts. And you exactly have to understand that what kind of value can I add to their lives. Now it is more of a thing in services, as in many of you business school graduates will go on and work at, say, the likes of McKinsey, the likes of Bain. You'll understand the bigger businesses in India are essentially those who give you gyan, who consult maybe government, maybe bodies of government, maybe other companies, maybe sector wise they consult different companies. Now they get paid for understanding, say, for example, a particular sector of India or India as a whole, right? Now think of any foreign company which has made an entry into India. Say, for example, earlier earlier Netflix was not in India. It came some 6 years back. Or there are many offerings which are still not available in India, right? Apple as of now did not have a dedicated, what do you say, uh, websites for India, like online websites for India, but now it does. Now it does because they have taken a lot of consulting from people who understand India. And I'm talking in tunes of millions of dollars just to understand, well, is it going to be a good decision, good business decision? So essentially, on a bigger level, they are also doing customer research. They are also doing competitors analysis. They are also trying to create customer personas. इंडिया में मैकबुक तो सबके पास है ना, बहुत सारे लोगों के पास है, लेकिन बहुत सारे ऐसे भी लोग हैं इंडिया में जिन्होंने इंडिया में ऑफलाइन स्टोर से तो ऑर्डर किया है, एप्पल के डेडिकेटेड apple.com/in पे कभी ऑर्डर नहीं किया, बिकॉज इट वाज नॉट अवेलेबल अर्लियर. यू कुड नॉट कस्टमाइज एप्पल लैपटॉप्स हियर इन इंडिया. आपको ऐसा पैकेट मिलता था पहले. Things are changing, but that business decision depends on a lot of research which those guys have done. And it can be like, essentially, if you understand the merm of it, the essence of it, then you will get to understand, okay, अगर एक कस्टमर है ना, मुझे कस्टमर को एक टेंजिबल सी चीज मत समझो, सिर्फ उसको उसको एक थोड़ा इनटेंजिबल चीज समझो. एनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना, क्रिकेट टीम्स हैं, ऑस्ट्रेलिया के क्रिकेट टीम है, दे आर रूथलेस, दे स्लेज ऑन द फील्ड. इंडिया की क्रिकेट टीम, इफ यू गो 15 years back, under Saurav Ganguly, they became ruthless. But if you go a little further back, then they were meek. They were simply meek. But if you look at our team now, they are up for a fight all the time, all the time. But because the flavor has changed, and that changes our perception. Now, if you look at any company, for example, if you look at SBI, the feeling it gives you is, maybe it's a traditional bank, their website don't work right. If you look at HDFC, it's like this website is from 1995. They want to maintain that flavor. You go to any private banks, IDFC and stuff, IDFC, the likes of IDFC or Kotak, they're a little better. Now, if you have to go and sell to these companies, or say, for example, private banks or public banks, then you have to, first of all, understand their flavor. If you have to sell to railways, understand their flavor. If you don't understand their flavor, it'll become very tough to add value to that conversation. Because talking to any person, if you talk to any person, he has an inherent resistance to listen to you. Now, that resistance can only be overcome by winning trust of that person. Essentially, I am talking to you, and say, for example, 10 or 12 of you are here. Essentially, it might be, it's a graded course for you, you have to be here. The other case could be, might be you are getting some value out of it, right? Otherwise you won't listen to me, and so on and so forth. When there's money involved, money comes on later. Before you get into financials, you have to win the trust of that guy. You have to be, when it is necessary, you have to be affirmative. When it is necessary, you have to be a slightly authoritative, because he is not hiring you or paying you for your lip service. Lip service तो यार उसका employee भी देगा ना उसको, है ना? So these are the couple of things to take care of when you're selling to bigger organizations. And probably we are reaching the end of our session. Means I had not really prepared for this talk, so I told you what I know by experience. Now you can essentially, put your questions up, and maybe if I have not, if I've left strings unattached, then you just ask me questions. So yeah. Hey.
So I had a question for you.
Please.
So the business that you are leading right now, I'm guessing that sales, when you make a sale there, it is a big ticket kind of sale.
Yeah.
So how do you structure that sale? Is there a structure to your first meeting to the day you close it and get the check?
So how I approach that problem is, when you get the first meeting, in first meeting you don't think about closing the sale. In first meeting you're thinking about getting the next meeting, right?
Okay.
Essentially that's trust building. And if I have to spend an hour with somebody, earlier before COVID you used to go and meet that person. Now you cannot meet them. You have to show your face on a screen. And then there have to be a couple of things. There have to be some value you have to add to their lives or their organization or their POV, point of view. And unless you're able to do that, means you're not going to be able to close that sale. Means essentially I'm talking about B2B. In B2C, I think in B2C business is more impulsive if the ticket size is small. But if you go to like 10,000 ka ticket size or 20,000 ka ticket size, there could be various, techniques or maybe learnings to learn from other successes. But either I have dealt with B2C companies, small ticket size, or maybe big ticket size. So I don't have much understanding of the, a mid ticket size, essentially transactions. So if I had to answer your query on structure, Then look, Bombay Local is a very small company now. We are like 8 people, and thankfully they are smart. So uh, you make a process when you have to essentially build an organization where things could be replicated, right? Replicated as in you are creating clones, and that happens in bigger organizations. Maybe when we become bigger, we'll make a process as such. But in our company at this point of time, uh, every person comes with a different flavor. If I have to close a sale, if I have to talk to somebody, I do it in a different way. And if my co-founder has to do it, he does it in a different way. So right now we don't have any process, and I don't have any thesis or a personal thesis on it. So yeah. So, did I answer you?
Okay, so what you're saying is that essentially your style is that you go there and for the first meeting you don't worry about closing the sale at all. You worry about whether or not you are able to tell the customer the value that
Essentially he has to like you, and he has to like you not in eating dinner together or going out for drinks together. He has to like you means he essentially either appreciates your views, or he knows what he's talking, means he knows that you know what you're talking about. Until unless that rapport is not built, I don't think you can close any big ticket size. Means
okay.
that's my take on it. Go on.
Okay, so yeah, that was from me.
और कुछ नहीं है.
Any question? Okay.
Chalo guys.
Sir, I don't think there is any question. So, thank you, Osho sir, for this informative session. Now I would request Karan Chauhan sir to kindly give vote of thanks.
Hello everyone. On behalf of AIC BHU, I would like to thank Mr. Osho Siddhant for coming here and joining us today and sharing his journey with us. I would also like to thank all the participants for joining today. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you very
guys.
much. Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir, bye bye.